everyone, welcome back to the Crossroads. Now today we're going to be having a look at how to play some Jimi Hendrix style fills over the blues, and we're going to be doing it over that chord progression I just played through at the beginning. So let me take you through that first of all. It's pretty easy. We're going to play an E for 4, an A chord for 4, an E chord for 4, and then a B, or B7 chord for 4. That's the first time round. Second time round we've got an E again for 4, an A for 4, but at the end we have E, B, E. That was E for 2, B for 2, E for 2. All right, and that's the chord progression. Now when we're using these Jimi Hendrix style fills, a nice shape to use to get started, because everything fits really well under the fingers, is what we call the A shape. Now if you're not familiar with the Cage system, the A shape just refers to this A chord here on the 2nd fret. So I'm barring down the 2nd fret, D, G, B, and this is my A note, by the way, on the 2nd fret. That's how I'm kind of thinking of what the chord is called, so A. So if we want an E chord from there, let's move it up to the 9th fret, and that is an E chord. That note is an E, so that's great. So this shape is movable. If I want a B chord, I'm going to move it back to the 4th fret here. And that's your B note. That's what I'm thinking of. So here's your A chord. Well, in fact, let me start on the E since we're doing that. That's the E. Now A. Going back to the E. B. Second time round. A. E. B. So that's the chord progression we're going to use. Now, how do you do these Jimi Hendrix style fills? Well, if you look at this A shape here, you can think of this pentatonic box. This would really be E major. Pentatonic. But what we're going to do is we're going to do some double stop ideas. So if you press down on the 9 on the B, 9 on the high E, and use your little finger to hammer on to the 12th fret. So you're hammering onto the lower note, but you're still trying to get the E and the B ringing. That's a bit tricky. All right, now we're going to go up and do the same thing with 9 on the G, 9 on the B. I'm hammering onto the 11 there, which is the next note in the scale. Still trying to get that B note to ring. Moving up, 9 on the D, 9 on the G, hammering onto 11. Moving again, up or down, depending how you think of it. And that's 9 on the A, 9 on the D, hammering on to 11 again. Now when we get to the next string set, we don't kind of do that, we just kind of normally hit this note, which is the E. So let me go through that. So since as that works in the E shape, or this, when I'm saying the E shape, it's the A shape, but we're in E, in the chord of E. I'm going to move this down to the A chord now, and all those things that we can do work in this A chord shape, and then same with the B. All right, so the cool thing about that is we can start using these shapes to get around over this chord progression. So, for example, let's say we have a lick like this. All right, so I'm doing this in E, in the E chord first of all. All right, so I'm hammering on from 9 to 11. This isn't a double stop. And then I'm hitting the 9 on the D, 9 on the G. and then I'm hammering onto that 11th fret on the D. Going back to 9 on the D, 9 on the G. So that could be our lick we could play. Now I'm going to go and do the same thing in the A shape. Go back to the E. And now let's do it in the B. So if we go through the chord progression using that idea, I finished on an E note at the end there. So did you see I was just using those Hendrix ideas, that same shape, just moving kind of around, you know, so it sounds good. But one thing that can make it sound even better is if you can think of the scale of each chord. Don't worry, this will be painless. Think of, here's the first 3 notes of E. So 7 on the A, 9, 11. All right, that's on the A string. Now, do that in A as well, so that would be open A. So open A, 2, and then 4 there. How would we do that in B? Well, here's your B here. So 2, 4, 6. So here's the E, first 3 notes of E. A, B, and we're going to finish on an E. Now why am I telling you this? Well, you can do things like this. For the E, let's do the same for the A. Same for the B. Finish on the E. Okay, so that makes it sound a lot more kind of interesting because you're starting on the E and you're finishing on the E. So if I play something like that, that's for the E. Let's have the A. E. What I did there, by the way, was as well as hammering on, you could slide those notes as well. All right, so that can sound quite effective. E. Let's go to A. Let's go to B. Back to E. Now let's go the second time around with that change. B. So I hope you can see you're using one shape, this pentatonic shape, and you're adding and you're finishing. That was an E note. I finished on that E note the first time. So see if you can add that to your playing. You can just spend hours doing this kind of thing, you know, just mucking about with that one. The nice thing with the E too as well is you can add that E note in there too. And that is a chord you often hear, an E, with that note there, the 11th fret, it's a G sharp. The other thing you hear a lot done, instead of playing that open A here, is you could play the A on the 5th fret and go up that A major instead of same notes, A, B, C sharp. So you might do something like this, you know. Here's the A. E. Slide. B. There's a B note, so you could do the same idea as we just did with the A. So can you see when you start knowing these shapes, we're just starting with these three shapes, A chord, B chord, E chord. So have a go with that. Hope that's helpful. You can get a lot of music out of that, especially if you're adding it kind of to your pentatonic scale. So, have some fun with that. See you next time.